their 90s sound. It's like we're going from the 2000s to the 90s, back to the 2000s to the 90s, just in terms of their sound and what I've come to know. It's really cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Plastic Cup Politics is from Less Than Jake's 5th studio album, Anthem, released in 2003. And if you've been here a while, you definitely know by now that I unknowingly grew up listening to this band and didn't realize it until many years later. I won't get into that backstory again today, but I now know and love two of their earlier albums from the 90s, and those are Losing Streak and Hello Rockview. But when I finally heard the entirety of Hello Rockview recently over on Patreon, it pushed me over the edge and resulted in me going out and getting my first Music Man bass. I couldn't resist any longer. Roger won me over, and I've been loving this bass so much ever since. However, I'm still very unfamiliar with the 2000s era of this band, aside hearing the song The Science of Selling Yourself Short last summer here on the channel, and that's when I actually learned that Roger Lima sang. It blew me away. I remember when the first few words came out of his mouth, I went, did they get a different singer by this point? Okay, I never knew bassist Roger Lima. I didn't know he sang for the longest time. I've kind of gleaned that from your comments. He's got a great voice. And I've now learned, of course, that him and Chris sing lead. And as for Roger, he sings like an angel. He plays bass like a madman. I mean, what's there not to love? And with Plastic Cup Politics being one of the songs I get asked to do the most here on the channel lately, it's pretty fitting because he also sings lead on this one. But the actual main reason I'm coming back to Less Than Jake today, if you paid attention to my last video, is that I'm seeing this band live tomorrow. It's my very first ska punk show, and it all feels very full circle for me considering I grew up listening to a few songs by this band. I'll be at the Dallas, Texas show tomorrow, August 13th, and maybe I'll see some of you there. But without further ado, here is Plastic Cup Politics from Less Than Jake.
Hello, six-pack of confidence. Been so many nights since we first met. Glad to see you brought all your friends for another night of Plastic Cup Politics.
That's kind of cool. I love the way they're playing around with the pacing. There's a bit of misdirection there on maybe what you expect. You can't quite lock into a tempo because it's changed so much. We're not even at the 1 minute mark. But it all started with that intro, which I want to go back to. I mean, I just got done saying Roger sings like an angel, which he just did. I also said he played like a madman. We hear both of those things together here in the intro by themselves. I mean, what just a really intense way to start a song. I love how they leave that inhale in, it just starts it off on an intense note. And even without drums or anything, just bass and vocals, it foreshadows that faster tempo that we just returned to here because we took a detour for a minute on this verse that almost reminded me a little bit of The Science of Selling Yourself Short. It kind of had that two-step, a little bit of sublime, kind of reggae thing, just some airiness in the rhythm, the groove. And I love how they just use the guitar to bring it back to that, more old school Less Than Jake sound. All they did was add the guitar and take it away. If we're talking about the mix sounding intense. Okay, let's go back and hear that intro again. I'm going to say it every time when a bass player can play a more technical, subdivided bass line and sing a different rhythm over it, it will forever blow my mind. There's just something about that that's weird on bass. I can even strum a guitar and kind of get a melody out. I can't do it on bass for whatever reason. So I'm excited to see this live, up close and personal. Well, it's general admission. I probably won't be in the pit or the front, but I'll see it in person. Here we go. Let's hear this again.
Hello, six-pack of confidence. Been so many nights since we first met. Glad to see you brought all your friends for another night of Plastic Cup Politics.
It's a great hook. Plastic Cup Politics. Boom. Up here in E major, and the tone, despite being up higher, it almost sounds like he's playing it on some lower strings. If you listen to the tone here, and it could just be a lot of EQ or maybe a thicker fuzz.
Hello, six-pack of confidence. Been so many nights since
I almost want to believe he's playing it more like way up here. Because that tone's a bit fatter and just more, it's more of a round tone than you would get playing it here. Kind of has that girthier timbre. I don't know, being nitpicky, but it doesn't sound like a thin, just scraggly bass part. It's got some fullness to it. So I like that. And of course, listen to the vocal melody, listen to the bass part. There's no overlap. They share some notes, but they're almost in counterpoint to each other, which the term would be contrapuntal. I get made fun of when I use that word. It's a real word. Go look it up. Of counterpoint. Two different melodies happening at the same time. And there's some criteria on what true counterpoint is. I won't get into that. But point being, I'm using that term to say it's two different things happening at the same time. One more time, we'll let it go. I'm really interested how that pivots to this slower reggae feel in the verses. Dig it.
Hello, six-pack of confidence. Been so many nights since we first met. Glad to see you brought all your friends for another night of plastic cup politics.
Brings you right in. So smooth.
Hello, Mr. Six-pack of confidence. I'm
Right to
glad
it.
see you've already met Miss 12 ounces of loneliness. Yeah, Mr. Plastic Cup Politics.
Okay. That little guitar stab. It's like, hey, we're about to rev things up again. And of course, the drums are at a different, their halftime feel, you know, the reggae kind of chill vibe here. My point is that they save and ration that guitar for the energetic moments. And this little hit on 2, which almost makes me want to talk about crashes on 2. It's kind of that same thing here. You don't think it's coming on the downbeat, so they put it over one beat and it's on beat 2. So you have this 1, 2, 3, 4. There. It kind of throws you off a bit. I like the effect of that. I'll talk about things on 2, crashes on 2 a lot. And then they go back to just bass and drums. Again, this groove kind of reminds me of that Science of Selling Yourself Short verse section. Honestly, this is the exact same chord progression, I think, from that Goldfinger song. So it's, you know, similar. 4-chord progression. I like how they alternate out with the S sharp and make it minor. Let me hear that again. But a cool transition.
12 ounces of loneliness. Yeah, Mr. Plastic Cup Politics.
Yeah. Right on 2. I love it. Let me go back a little bit. One more time. 2, 3. Really effective. See, now the guitar comes back in. Now it sounds like we just jump back to something off Losing Streak. The guitar is the cue to go back into that fast sound. I love how it was all set up with the bass intro right from the beginning. The little bit of chromaticism makes this really fun too. The walking it back up chromatically, just really tasteful stuff. I remember commenting something similar on The Science of Selling Yourself Short, just saying Roger's putting all the right notes in the right places, little passing tones, not overdoing it to where it has this big, this kind of messy chromatic sound, but tasteful places there to wrap up the groove. I love it. Yeah, right back to the 90s. Okay, I like there too how that chromatic thing I was just talking about actually became more of a center point of the riff, whereas before in the verses, when the guitar was gone, it was more of just an afterthought, just a passing tone to loop that bass part. And I think they did that again earlier and I missed it, but it's cool that they just took that bass fill and made it more of the main riff here, because the guitar's doing the chromatic thing now too. Now it becomes the fill again.
Do you know how your insecurities
Hold on. Let me see if they really are doing that same chord there. No? Are they changing it up? Was I just hearing that kind of Goldfinger similarity? Okay, it still kind of has the same 4-chord progression thing. I swear they went to D. I'm not going to keep rewinding to find it. That's kind of cool. But now they're doing down to the F sharp, which could kind of be an inversion of the D. I'm not going to get hung up on that, but it just has a cool out of key chord in that progression. So if that's what they were doing, it kind of reminded me of that. But they're going down to the F sharp minor here. Okay, just curious. There it is again. I don't think he did that the last time. He did a bit more chromaticism. Kind of just starting to get that pulse rolling again. Little foreshadowing moments in the bass part to kind of drive tension with the chromatic thing into this next part to bring it back into their 90s sound. It's like we're going from the 2000s to the 90s, back to the 2000s to the 90s, just in terms of their sound and what I've come to know. It's really cool. That's very cool. I love that too because they go halftime for a minute here, but previously when we've been hearing this song, we've only associated that halftime part with the guitar being gone, the reggae-ish section. Now they go halftime with the guitar. So this is a brilliant case of just, again, taking a few ingredients and just doing different combinations of them as the song progresses. And it's not like it's a rehash of something before, but it's a great way to reprise something and give it a different flavor. Very subtle, almost mundane songwriting things that are just intuitive to some people, but I like talking about them. That's what we do here on the channel. It's fun to kind of hear it that way. This is the verse section with the guitar now. We haven't heard that combination. It's effective. It kind of signifies, hey, we're going to a bridge. It's a new section. I love that. This is like the verse, right? But with guitar. Brilliant. And simple. Okay, they are using that D there. I have a feeling they did it. I don't want to rewind because I'm just going to skip around and just waste a bunch of time. But I know it's in the song because they're landing on it actually right here. So technically when you have 4 chords in that shape that are major, there's a key change when you go to the D. Because in B major, the 3rd is D sharp. So you get that kind of chromatic movement. So it's a bit of planing because those, if I'm doing my math right in my head, you can't have all of those chords existing in a diatonic key. Yeah, an easier way to demonstrate that would be like in the key of C. If I'm on white keys on the piano, C major, go down off to the 5. Now jump up a minor 3rd and make that major. That's dipping into the C minor bank of notes, that B flat major, just for one note. That's modal interchange, modal borrowing, whatever you want to call it. Then we go into that for one chord and then back to diatonic F. So it has an extra color in the progression. That's the out chord. We're dipping into C minor there for a second. Then we go down to F, but it sounds very smooth. Very clever. And they're doing it in the key of E. Right there. I love that song title, Plastic Cup Politics. I didn't read the lyrics coming into this one, I forgot. Is it talking politics over solo cups and beer pong? Is it something like that? Like, that's what the name implies. Talking politics over something stupid in a stupid setting or stupid scenario, or not taking yourself too seriously with politics with a plastic cup in your hand. I don't know. I like the title, and it's actually phonetically really strong in terms of the way he's singing it. So to be a part of the chorus, dig the title. I need to go back and look at what that's about. Plastic cup politics. Panning. Okay, had to look up the lyrics. I was just very curious if I was right on that. Yeah, it starts out, hello, six-pack of confidence. Been so many nights since we first met. Glad to see you brought all your friends for another night of plastic cup politics. Solving the world's problems over some beers. I had a feeling it was something like that. And they're actually really catchy lyrics. I'm not going to read them all, but okay, just had to look. Yeah, there's a really unique energy when Roger sings. And I know I'm really giving him a lot of accolades vocally. Chris's voice sounds so nostalgic to me because I grew up hearing some of the songs from Losing Streak, and that's what I first heard from the band, especially the song Sugar in Your Gas Tank, which is a random song to hear, but it was on the Street Skater soundtrack. That's why I covered that song on the channel maybe a year ago. When I hear that voice, it's nostalgic. So you can understand how when I first heard The Science of Selling Yourself Short, I was like, this sounds like a whole different person. Did he get replaced? No, it's the bass player, Mark, idiot. This was a great one. I love Roger's range, and I analyze these songs differently now when I know he's singing, because I'm thinking, this vocal melody doesn't go with this bass line at all. What a beast. Plastic Cup Politics, fun song. We'll see if they play it live. I really have no idea what kind of set list favorites are always in their set list. I mean, I'm going into this pretty blind, other than knowing a bit more about the band now. I've heard 2 albums, but there's so many albums I haven't heard yet. Nonetheless, I love this band. Can't wait to see them live, especially with the Suicide Machines and even Fishbone on the bill. But thanks for hanging out with me today. If you'd like to support the channel further, come find us on Patreon. Again, I've reviewed Hello Rockview in full there, as well as a ton of other ska albums, punk albums. I think we're up to 22 or 23 albums by this point. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do that now. It really helps the channel out. Hit the subscribe button. I love you all. We'll see you in the next one.